What's up, Fearless Nation? How's everybody doing out there? I just finished watching the weirdest night of fighting I've ever seen in my life. It was like WWF or something. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. What am I talking about? The night George Foreman fought 5 guys in one night. 5 guys in one night. And the first 3 got stopped. I think each round was 3. Each fight was 3 rounds. I heard Jack Dempsey did it before, but I never saw it, so I don't know the results. But Foreman fought 5 guys in one night. You had Muhammad Ali ringside. You had Don King and Foreman and Ali were going back and forth, and Howard Cosell was doing his little form. Howard Cosell would commentate on the fight, but then take little digs at the fighter. He'd always say like Foreman and Ali weren't the fighters they used to be, and Ali would be like, "Well, you're not the announcer you used to be," or stuff like that. But man, that was the craziest thing I ever saw. It was just like chaotic. People were throwing stuff in the ring. There was a round where the trainers, I think Foreman's trainer, swung and hit the other trainer with a hook. It was, I think the first guy Foreman fought was a guy named Alonzo Johnson. I believe he weighed like 208. Foreman was, I believe, a career high 232. He looked in great shape, but of course, Howard Cosell to say he was, like looking terrible at that high weight. I'm like, are you seeing the same thing I'm seeing? 232 on Foreman is tight muscle. It's not like the average Joe sitting around. So I don't know what he's talking about, what he was talking about. But anyway, Foreman went in there against the first guy, blew him out, knocked him out in the second round. The next guy, it's hard to give details because Foreman was clowning around too. It's like he was kind of, I don't know, Muhammad Ali said he was trying to impress him by bouncing around. I never seen Foreman bounce around like that. And then he was even jumping like he was on a pogo stick, jumping back and forth. And one guy, he said at the end of the fight, he told him like, you did all right. And the guy started, I guess saying bad language. So Foreman pushed him, and there was a point where Foreman hit his own corner man. I was like, what is going on? And he said after the fight, when he was being interviewed by Howard Cosell, he said that the guy pulled out his mouthpiece and scraped his gum, so he pushed him or hit him a little bit, but Foreman hugged him and let him know it was all right. I think it was a relative of his. That was the craziest night of fights I ever saw. I mean, I think one guy's name was Charlie Polite. I think that's the only guy that went the 3 rounds. He just tried to do the rope-a-dope on Foreman like Ali had done, where he just laid there and took shots. I thought, that's a hard way to try to win a fight against Foreman, just taking shots, even on the arm. I imagine they hurt. And Ali just kept yelling, "To the ropes, to the ropes." So the guy, he lasted. He didn't come close to hurting George or knocking him out, but he lasted. And like I said, the first three guys lasted 2 rounds. The 4th fighter, he went the distance, and then the last guy had the best record of them all, and he looked to be the biggest guy. A lot of these guys were real small, like 190. I think the Charlie Polite dude, he had something like 13 wins and 30 losses. I was like, wow. But Foreman was trying to get a rematch, I believe, with Ali after losing to him, so he was trying to impress the crowd. Him and Ali kept going back and forth. And at one point, Ali yelled, "You might beat 5 guys, but you can't beat one of me." Ali was so clever. He was just, witty. He just come with them off the top. And he had to leave the fight early during, I believe, the last fight. He had to catch a plane somewhere. But that was the craziest night. He fought 5 guys in one night and won all 5 of them. And Foreman was complaining at the end of the fight. He's like, what kind of strategy is laying on the ropes taking shots? He's like, that's not fighting. He's like, he was naming all the fighters he beat. Frazier, I almost said Larry Holmes. He beat Frazier, Ken Norton. I think he mentioned Ron Lyle, but I thought that fight came later on. I'm not sure, but that's a great fight. If you want to see a lot of action, back and forth knockdowns, is George Foreman versus Ron Lyle. Check it out. But if you want to see the crazy night of fights, go back and watch the George Foreman fights, Five Guys in One Night. It was held in Ontario, Toronto, in Canada, Maple Leaf Center. And I know the people at that show, they'll never forget that. Even Howard Cosell was mentioning how weird everything was. It just had the feel of a WWE match. And check it out. It's the J. Roos Theory. Beat down the like button, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell logo, and be fearless. Yay, yay.